What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Now here today I do have new mics, so if the audio sounds a little funky, better, worse, please let me know. It's my first time using these things. It's my attempt to have my audio be better because I've had some comments that the audio sucks, and this is my attempt to fix it, so we'll see how it goes. But without further ado, let's start off with a trade that went down a few days ago. The New York Yankees acquired closing pitcher Devin Williams from the Milwaukee Brewers. In return, the crew got back Nestor Cortez and Caleb Durbin. Williams, he's 30 years old, and last season, after missing the first 4 months with 2 stress fractures in his back, he returned to the hill, and he was dominant. In his limited 22 outings, Williams had a 1.25 ERA, retired 38 men, while racking up 15.8 strikeouts per 9. And if we look at his last 222 innings pitched, he has 361 strikeouts during that span. Now, it's only a guarantee he'll stay in pinstripes for just 1 year, as he will be on the market after the 2025 campaign concludes. Now, the question becomes, do the Yankees sign him to an extension now, which might be cheaper, all things considering, or do they wait and see how he does next year and then evaluate his performance and make the decision at that point? We will see. If I were the Yankees, I would wait and see how he does, because you don't want to sign a guy who just blows to a massive contract the first year, and he'll hear it from Yankee fans regardless. So I would wait and see how he does. He'll probably do better on the 1-year contract because he's playing for something, right? Now, Cortez, like Williams, he's also 30, and he will become a free agent in 2025. Cortez started to gain notoriety back in 2022 when he made 28 starts for the Yankees. He had an ERA of 2.44, struck out 163 men, and had a whip under 1 in just over 158 innings pitched, while also coming in the top 10 in Cy Young voting. Now, since then, Cortez has not been reliable, let's be honest. In 2023, his ERA ballooned to nearly 5 in 63 innings pitched, and he only made 12 starts due to a string of injuries he suffered that season. This past season, the Yanks sent him to the pen. He was that bad, okay? Where he imploded during Game 1 of the World Series. Maybe a lack of the New York media will be a good thing for Cortez, where he can quietly be dominant again in Milwaukee. Caleb Durbin, he's kind of an older rookie, okay? He's 25 years old, but he just won the Arizona Fall League MVP following a .312 batting average, 5 dingers, and get this, 29 swipes in 24 games played. Not to mention, he had 4 stolen bases in 1 game, setting an Arizona Fall League record. But the cherry on top, Durbin, he only had 6 strikeouts in 93 at-bats this fall. Now, topic number 2, as I talked about in my last video, Astros GM Dana Brown said he was not going to turn a deaf ear when it came to a possible Tucker or Valdez trade. Well, he was honest in that video, because 2 days later, he traded Kyle Tucker to the Chicago Cubs. In return for Kyle Tucker, the Astros got infielder Isaac Paredes, infielder Cam Smith, and right-handed pitcher Hayden Wesneski. Now, Tucker, let's look at him. He's 27, going into his last year of club control before entering the market. He's really blossomed the last 3 years. In 2023, he made his second of 3 All-Star games, won a Silver Slugger, came in 5th in MVP voting while blasting 29 home runs, leading the AL in RBIs with 112 in 2023. Now, despite being hampered with a fractured shin mid-season last year that limited him to only 78 games, Tucker found a way to still blast 23 long balls, drive in nearly 50, and have a .289 batting average. Now, I think with full health next year, we could see Tucker hit, not kidding, 45 long balls and drive in 120 while playing at the friendly confines. Now, the same can be said about Isaac Paredes, who went the other way in the deal to Houston. He's a natural pull hitter, okay, with all of his home runs last year going to dead left field. In fact, according to this chart, if all of his games were played at Minute Maid Park, where it's only 315 down the line, he would have approximately 7 to 8 more home runs added added to his season-ending scoreline. So last year he hit 19 dingers. However, the infielding slugger has eclipsed 30 home runs before. That came in 2023 with Tampa Bay. So I would not be surprised if he got back to those type of numbers next year in Houston. You know, he could have a career high offensive production when it comes to the home run department. I could see him hitting maybe 30 again, possibly 35, maybe even 40. That might be a little crazy, but I don't think it's out of the question. You know, he could get 30 home runs again while playing at Minute Maid Park or whatever the hell it's called now. Now, if we look at Cam Smith, he was a 14 overall pick in the 2024 MLB draft out of FSU. He's 6'3", a 224-pound third baseman. In 32 games between low A and double A, he hit 7 home runs, 5 doubles, 4 triples, 24 RBIs. He batted .313, had a .396 OBP, and an OPS over 1,000. Now, despite him only playing 5 games in Double-A last season, there is something to be said about him getting to Double-A in his first professional season, okay? That's pretty impressive. So you got to keep an eye out for Mr. Cam Smith. Now, Hayden Wesneski, he's a 27-year-old righty, and he has bounced between starter and reliever during his 3 years in Chicago. He's mainly a 3-pitch guy despite him having a 5-pitch arsenal. His bread and butter is his sweeper, a pitch he goes to 40% of the time, and it has a 17.4 inches of break. Now, the biggest upside for Houston when it comes to Wesneski is that they have him under club control through 2032, which is insane. That gives them time to help him develop into a dependable arm, unlock some type of untapped potential. This could be a rejuvenation of his career right now going to Houston. Now, the Oakland Athletics have traded for Jeffrey Springs along with Jacob Lopez from the Rays. In return, the Rays will receive right-hander Joe Boyle and outfielder Joe Simpson and Jacob Waters. Springs, he's a 32-year-old lefty who was a reliever for the beginning of his career before turning into a starter in his second year with Tampa Bay. In 2022, he made 25 starts, struck out 144 men, gave up 37 earned runs, had a whip of 1.071, the lowest of his career, by the way, had a strikeouts per 9 of 9.6. However, since then, Springs has been hampered with injuries, undergoing Tommy John in April 2023, which limited him to 10 games between the 2023 season and 2024 season. Now, Lopez, let's look at him. He's a 27-year-old southpaw who has pretty good extension and has limited time in the show. Literally only played 4 games last year in the big leagues, but he did have a pretty good year in 2023 between Double-A and Triple-A, where he pitched to a tune of a 2.68 ERA, 132 strikeouts, had a 1.1 strikeouts per 9 in 107 innings pitched. Now, Boyle, he's a 6'7", 25-year-old specimen who throws 101 miles an hour. Okay, surprised that the Athletics gave him up in this deal, personally. But the downside is he has trouble with the control. He walks almost 7 hitters per 9 innings. But perhaps the light at the end of the tunnel here for the Rays could be they could fix him, just like they did with, Tyler Glasnow. Again, this could work out for him as well. Now, Simpson, he's a lanky 23-year-old infielder who smacked 44 doubles, 24 home runs, and put up an 880 OPS in 163 minor league games between 4 different levels in the last 2 years. Now, Waters, he's a 22-year-old who, despite reaching AAA last year for a spell, literally a cup of coffee, he has a career ERA of 5.86 across all levels. Now, this happened just a few moments ago. Breaking, says Jeff Passan, Cody Bellinger has been traded from the Cubs to the Yankees. Now, the 29-year-old is a former MVP. He has 2 years remaining on his contract with an opt-out following 2025. Now, the full trade includes Cody Bellinger and cash going to New York for right-handed reliever Cody Poteet. Now, if we look at Cody Bellinger right now, a kind of Cody for Cody deal here, but if you look at the main guy, the main Cody, the big Cody, Cody Bellinger, the last 2 seasons with Chicago, Bellinger has 44 home runs, 175 RBIs. He's slugged .475, has a .286 batting average, 260 games played. Now, after having a fantastic, rookie campaign and first few years in the bigs, he went downhill, right, in LA, went to Chicago, got rejuvenated, and now he's in New York. So, look, I know the Yankee fans are pissed about Soto, but the Yankees got the lefty bat, right? They got the lefty bat they wanted and needed. And that's Cody Bellinger. I mean, Yankee fans were begging and pleading for Cody Bellinger just a few years ago. So let's see how the Yankee fans react now. I know it's not, what you want. You could extend him, obviously. Like I said about Devin Williams, I'd wait and see how he does before you go ahead and do that sort of thing, because players perform better on contract years. So I think this is a great deal for the Yankees. A very, very good move. I'm quite surprised the Cubs decided to give up Cody Bellinger right here. I mean, maybe their outfield is a little packed right now. You have Senga, you have Kyle Tucker, you're going to have Bellinger, right? So, I mean, Tucker's on a one-year deal, basically left. So, I guess I just don't understand what the Cubs are doing right now. But for the Yankee standpoint, it's fantastic. Really great move by Brian Cashman. I can't say anything bad about it. All right, so our last thing here we have to go over is that Rob Manfred has warned the Dodgers and any other teams that plan to use deferral money in player contracts going forward. An article from Andrew Peters of Bleacher Report says, quote, as MLB clubs continue to depend on salary deferrals to field talented rosters, Commissioner Rob Manfred warned that, quote, deferrals at some point can become problematic, end quote. He said, historically, we did have one franchise, the Diamondbacks, that got itself into a financial difficulties as a result of excessive deferrals. We've strengthened our rules in terms of funding of deferral compensation in order to avoid that kind of problem. But look, obviously, the bigger the number gets, the bigger the concern, end quote. Now, Manfred specifically mentioned the Arizona Diamondbacks, who had $254 million in deferrals way back in 2004 when owner Jeffrey Colangelo was forced out. Now, the debt Colangelo was willing to go into led to ticket price increases and the D-backs quickly plummeting to one of the worst teams in baseball at that point, following, their World Series championship in 2001, just like 3 years prior. Let's be real. This is a warning to the Dodgers specifically, okay, who have already incurred over $1 billion in deferrals between 2028 and 2046. Now, look, does this mean MLB will suddenly not allow teams to defer money? No, I don't think so. Does this mean MLB will add a salary cap in the next CBA? No, I don't think that will happen either. Now, if they did try to implement a salary cap, it would immediately cause another lockout and player strike, which the league could not afford. In my opinion, at least, I think that would happen if they try to, put a salary cap on this thing. So that's not going to happen. What does this mean? It means in the next CBA, the league will probably propose a deferral limit to how much money can be deferred, for how many years you can stretch out the deferrals, and they will limit how many times a club can choose to defer money within a calendar year. That's my thoughts. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hope this audio sounds good. I appreciate comments down below, and I'll catch you guys later.